So we're going to start lying down. Do feel free to pop a cushion under your head if you want to. And just get a nice long back on the ground, knees bent, feet flat to the floor. And just relax the arms. Let the shoulder blades just press into the ground. Maybe even gently pulling them towards each other so you've got a lovely open chest. Arms coming out. And let's just close the eyes for a few moments here. Feel free to let the knees fall into each other. And just come to the breath. So you start to feel the cooler air coming in and that warmer air going out. And let the arms be heavy, connect them to the ground. Feel that lovely long spine across the floor. And feel the weight of the head being supported by the ground. And as you start to focus a little more on the breath, just feel how the body gently lifts as you inhale and relaxes as you exhale. And turning the palms to face up to the sky. For a lovely open body to receive all this fresh energy that we're breathing in. And to let go of anything that isn't serving us today. Feel a lovely long breath coming in. And that slow breath out, really emptying the lungs and the body. Beginning to inhale through the nose and exhale out through the lips. And as you exhale out, just feel that length of breath going all the way out. Allowing it to take away those things that aren't serving you today. And this can also be a lovely cooling breath. So if and when the weather does get really warm, this lovely long breath out through very soft pursed lips can just help us release any excess heat. Taking a few more here in your own time. Allowing that breath to go fully out. Taking a moment to feel the belly, feel the chest lift, and to feel ourselves on the ground, where we connect with the floor. And feel grounded into the floor. As you breathe in, you feel open to the new, fresh energy. Taking 3 more rounds of this lovely, cooling, releasing breath. When you've taken your 3 breaths, allowing yourself to find a breath that serves you. So this can continue to be out through the mouth if you want to, or it can be in through the nose, out through the nose to keep the lovely new energy inside. You choose. When we're ready, we're going to lift the knees up towards the belly, taking the hands to the shins or the thighs, whichever works best. Giving yourself a little hug in and very gentle rock from side to side, massaging the back into the ground. Maybe taking it round in just little circles one way and then the other. Just feeling the lower back on the ground. And then we're going to move our hands over to the right leg as we take our left leg out long. So we did this last week. So we're hugging the right knee in. The left leg could be flat to the floor. It could have a little bend in it, entirely up to you. And just rock into that right hip a little bit. You could also take it in circles. And we're just getting the hip joint moving, get a little bit of juice in it. Especially great if we've been sat down all morning, if we've been at a desk, etc. Brilliant to get some nice new blood, new energy going through the hip joints. We're going to take a nice long inhale, and as we do, we're going to swap over the legs. So taking that right leg out, bringing the left knee in. And as we exhale, just move into those nice little circles, little rocks. Maybe even noticing if one hip feels different. Does one feel a little more open or resistant? You can do often if we do cross our legs, or we lean to one side a little more. So just moving into it, noticing what the body's saying to us today. Lovely. Taking a nice long inhale as you do, swapping back over the legs. As you exhale, squeezing the knee in. As you inhale, let's move the legs again, swapping over. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, swapping the legs. Exhale, squeezing. Inhale, moving the legs. exhale, squeeze in. So move with your breath, using that inhale to take the movement and the exhale to pull the thigh in. And again, knees can be really bent if you need a little bit of support on the back, or the legs can go out super long. Just feel what's better in the body. Moving it nice and steady, breath and body flowing together. Gently engaging the muller bandha as we move, so pelvic floor is lifting up, tummy is starting to pull up and in. Lovely. Taking just a few more on both sides, seeing if we can make sure we've done both sides evenly, and then bringing it back to both knees lifted. You might even want to take the knees out wide into sort of a half happy baby and have a little rock from side to side. You can make it big, it can be little. Just feel what's nice. And then bring the knees down to the floor. We're going to take the arms wide, feet are about hip distance, so are the knees. We're going to take a lovely long inhale. And as you exhale, just let the knees fall over to the right, not worrying if they get to the floor. We'll take a few breaths there, maybe taking the gaze over to the left. So we've got a completely twisted body. As you breathe into this twist, notice how we're almost wringing out the spine, like wringing out a wet rag. Just imagine a bit of stress dripping off, all that tension dripping away. Inhale, take it back to centre. As you exhale, let the knees fall over to the left. Gaze might go over to the right. Bringing in the other direction. This might feel different. Fabulous. Take your time. Relax the upper body, relax the hips. And then bring the knees back to centre on an inhale. I'm going to come up to a seated position, so you can roll over onto one side and push up, or you might take a little rock back and forth and rock up to sitting. Entirely up to you. I'm going to come to a cross-legged position if that suits, and do feel free, just come onto a cushion. Give the sitting bones a nice bit of comfort. Find that long, tall spine, shoulders back and down. Then we take the chin down to the chest. So the back is long, so we're resisting the urge to sort of fold in. Lifted back, lifted chest, chin comes down. Might feel a little opening in the neck or down the back. Take a few breaths there. I invite you to keep your eyes closed at any point through this. Keep your eyes closed for the whole thing if you wanted to. Let's go inward. See what the body's saying. As you inhale, lift the chin and see if you can look up gently. So it doesn't have to be all the way, just a little opening of the throat. And bring in the head to centre. We're going to look over towards the right, just as far as the head wants to go. And then take it all the way over to the left. Bring it back to centre. Give the shoulders a nice big roll. Up and back. Taking 3 or 4 of these. And a little bit of warmth in. And then settling the fingertips to the floor beside us. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up just as high as they'll go. As you exhale, you're going to bend the elbows, bring them in line with the shoulders. Inhale, lift the arms up high. As you exhale, bring the fingertips all the way down to the ground. Inhale, lift the arms, palms facing the sky. Then exhale, bend the elbows, push the palms out, spread the fingers. Inhale, lift the arm. Exhale all the way down, fingertips to the floor. Let's keep it going. Inhaling up. Exhale, bending, spreading the fingers. Lovely. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, fingertips to the floor. I want you to follow your breath. Using that inhale to lift, the exhale to move. Slowing it down as much as you can and linking the body and the breath together. This is a moving meditation. Perfect for just coming into the body, releasing some tension and some stress from the shoulders. Feel them begin to warm. And take 3 more. Big, deep inhales, filling the lungs, the belly, and slow, steady exhales. And stopping at any point if you need to. Noticing any pops or cracks, any little aches in the body that we just need to be mindful of today. It's amazing what the body whispers before it starts shouting. And we've come to the end of hour 3, just bringing the hands down, rest the arms, and if it feels like you want to have a wiggle of those shoulders, just do what comes naturally. And then we're going to come over onto the hands and knees. So just popping your cushions to one side, hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Now you can have your feet flat, or you can have the toes hooked under, entirely up to you. And you can pad out the wrists with a blanket, or you can fold the mat over if you just need a little bit of extra support, particularly if you've been on the computer a lot, the wrists can be achy. Find your mula bandha, so let's gently pull the pelvic floor up and in. Gently pull the tummy muscles up and in. Finding a lovely strong spine, gazing down to the floor. We're going to inhale, lift the head and the chest, point the bottom up towards the sky. Let the belly fall towards the floor. As you exhale, you're going to round the back, let the head go heavy, pushing that spine up to the sky. Inhale, lifting the chest, the bottom. Exhale, rounding the back. Look into the legs. Inhale, lifting through into that lovely little cow pose. Exhale, rounding into the angry cat. Keep it going with your breath. making the movement as big or as little as it wants to go. You could even introduce some bigger movement with taking the bottom back as we round the back. Gently leaning forward as you push the chest forward. Or you might keep it nice and simple, nice and small with just some very gentle movement. Entirely up to you. Breathing steady, closing the eyes, finding all the sensations. No good, no bad, just what's happening. Feel free to freestyle it, maybe going from side to side. Letting the head go in circles. Just moving into the body, getting a good sense of how we feel today. Moving the energy round. And then coming back to center when we're ready. Bringing the toes together, knees out lovely and wide. We're going to take the bottom down towards the heels and then lower the body to the floor. Bringing in the cushion if we want to. And just letting the body go. And the side of the head could be on the floor or the cushion, or you might bring the forehead to the floor. And just release. As you breathe into this position, notice the back. As we breathe, not only does the belly move, the chest move, but also the back expands. Notice as you inhale, there is a space between the shoulder blades. As you exhale, can you melt closer to the floor? Feel the breath open up the shoulders like wings on your back. And as you exhale, find some softness. If you're on the side of the head, just turning the head very gently so the cheek swaps over. Bringing awareness back to the wings of breath, opening up as you inhale, softening as you exhale. Taking a few more breaths here, wherever you are, on the cushion or the floor. And when we're ready, starting to inhale, lifting the body up. Nice and gently bringing the toes back out, the knees back in. Popping the cushion to one side if we've got one. Now we're going to take the hands just slightly in front of the shoulders, hook the toes under, and we're going to come up to a very soft downward dog. So we're going to push the bottom high, knees are going to be lovely and bent. I'm going to push up, a little bit of energy going, and then start to pedal out the legs. We're just going to be here briefly, opening the backs of the legs. Connecting with the lower body. Gently pushing the heart towards the thighs. And coming down at any point if you need to, and particularly if you start to get overheated in this position, you can always come to child's pose. And then come to stillness, gently encouraging the heels to go towards the floor. Sitting bones high, taking a lovely inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. And then bringing the knees very softly down. Do come back on the heels for a moment. Give the wrists a little wiggle. One way, rotating in there, the other. All that lovely blood moving. And then we're going to come back to hands and knees. We're going to step the right foot forward into a very lovely low lunge position. The knee is over the ankle. And then we're going to move the hands onto the left side of the right foot. If you want to feel this in the hips a little more, you might wiggle that back leg a little bit further back. Entirely up to you. Melt the hips forward and down. Let gravity do its work. Gaze is very gently forward. Just gazing at the floor, maybe in front of the mat. Or having the eyes closed. Having a few breaths here. And then we're going to gently rock backwards, straightening that leg, keeping the hands where they are, so we don't need to fully straighten. And then bringing the knee bent again. Straightening and bending. So rocking back and forth, back and forth. The toes can lift off the floor. And again, it might be a tiny movement. We might feel like it's just millimeters. And that's fine. It might be a big movement, and again, that is just what the body wants to do today. See if you can link the body and the breath. So inhaling as you come forward and exhaling as you go back. Again, linking body and breath. Being mindful that they are connected. When we next come forward, pausing there for a moment. And we might very gently bend the elbows to encourage the body to lower. Again, it might lower a tiny movement. You might find that the forearms come to the floor or anywhere in between. Just allowing yourself to give in a little. Let the head go heavy and see how that changes the posture. Maybe gently rocking from side to side. And slowly straightening the arms. Pushing into that front foot, and when we're ready, making our way up. So lifting the body, hands could come to the thigh, hands might come to the heart. And we're not going to lift the arms today, we're going to keep them down. Roll the shoulders back. Enjoy that little mini crescent lunge. Bringing the palms together and pressing the fingertips. Or if you do need that support on the thigh, that's fine. Feeling where the body connects with the ground and noticing where you lift. On the exhale, bring the hands back down. Once again, they're on the left side of that right foot. And we're going to start to walk the hands to the left. And as we do, this left foot is going to turn as well. And then we're going to start to turn the right toes. So we're facing the long edge of the mat. Right toes are pointing to the long edge. And the left knee is pointing to the long edge. Lovely. When we're ready, we're going to lift all the way up. So we're in a gate posture here. We're going to take the left hand down to the floor if that's accessible. You can always pop a cushion underneath to bring the floor a little closer, or we can just take the hand to the hip, have a little lean over. Inhale, lift the right arm up and over. Long arm, long leg, side angle variation. Gently pushing the hips forward. Fabulous open body. Just for a few breaths. And slowly we're going to bring the right hand down. Bring the hands back in front of the knee. And then we're going to walk our way round again to the right foot. So that left foot turns back to the short edge. And then we're going to step the right knee back. Have a wiggle, have a move on the mat. So we've come back into our tabletop posture. We're going to take the left foot forward, bend that left knee. So we're coming into the lunge on the opposite side. Finding that front knee over the ankle. And again, you can take that back leg a bit further back if you need a bit more opening in the hips. It's up to you and your body. Gently gazing past the mat on the floor. Engaging with the breath, feeling the mother bandha. If we let it go a little, can we bring it back in? And then let's go into our rocking movement, back and forward. Lengthening that front leg and bending. Just taking a few, see where the body wants to come to. Again, it might be little movement. It might be big. Linking the breath as and when we're ready, so the inhale lifts you forward and the exhale takes you back. Noticing if one side is a little different. Doesn't have to be good different or bad different. It might just feel different. Moving body and breath together. We open up the legs and the hips. Taking a few more. And the next time you come back to the front, settle there for a moment. As we did on the other side, you might bend the elbows slightly to lower the body. Now this is, again, entirely up to your body, and on one side you might feel like you can lower, and the other side, maybe you can't. Let the head go heavy, a little rock from side to side. And then lifting the head, straightening the arms. We're going to take the movement like we did on the other side. So the hands are going to walk over towards the right. This right knee is going to start to twirl round. Start to straighten into that left leg and turn the toes. So we're facing the long edge of the mat and we lift ourselves up nice and gently as we get there. Take the right hand down to the floor. Inhale, lift left arm up and over. Taking a few breaths in this little side angle, breathing into the ribs and the belly, opening the body. Taking your time. And slowly moving that left hand down to the floor, walking the hands all the way around, and then moving back into our lunge. So the hands go all the way to the left, that left knee bends, the right foot comes back out, and then we're going to step that left knee back. Come into our tabletop and feel free to make some movements. So you might go around in circles with the hips and the body. You might want to rock from side to side, almost like a snake-like action. Do what feels right for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to come into our last little downward dog. So spreading the hands, tucking the toes under and very gently lifting the bottom. Letting the head go heavy. You can keep the knees bent or you can lengthen the legs depending on how you want the energy to be today. Taking 3 breaths wherever you are. If you're not feeling it, always feel free to come to child's pose. See where the body wants to be. When you've taken your 3 breaths, bringing the knees down, sitting back and swinging the legs round to the front. Taking a moment just to readjust. Find yourself a little forward on the mat because we will be lying down in a second. Feet flat to the floor. Body nice and long. We're going to take the feet out about as wide as the mat. Knees are going to follow. So almost in a bit of a seated squat position. Taking the hands to the knees. Take a lovely deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to take the right shoulder over towards the left knee, as if you were twisting to touch. Inhale, bring yourself back to centre. As you exhale, left shoulder goes towards the right knee. Inhale to centre. Exhale, right shoulder to the left knee. Inhale to centre. Exhale, left over to the right. Take a few more of these in your own pace. So you're just twisting the body, lowering down. Again, could be a tiny movement on both sides. Or you might find you can really go through. Opening up the back of the body, twisting and stretching the back. Taking one more on both sides, trying to keep it nice and even. And then bringing yourself back to centre. We're going to cross the legs by bringing the right leg in front of the left. And again, you can be on a cushion if you like, or the sitting bones can be connected to the floor. Find a long, tall spine. If crossing the leg just isn't accessible, bring the soles of the feet together. Lift up, sitting tall, crown of the head pulling towards the sky. Take the fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lift up the arms. And then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward by sort of pulling the arms forward and down, bringing the hands to the floor. Looking towards the hands for a moment and then letting the head go heavy. Sitting bones are staying connected to the ground. And depending on if you have crossed the legs or not, you might feel there's a little more in one hip than the other. Let the body lengthen with the inhale, and as you exhale, can you fold a little deeper? Not worrying if you're sort of halfway up. Find the point you need to be. And taking one more lengthening inhale and relaxing exhale. On your next inhale, roll nice and gently up the spine, shoulders back and down as you get there. Take the legs out and then recross, if we are crossing, with left in front of right. Connect the sitting bones, lifting tall. Fingertips to the ground. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then as you exhale, pulling forward and down. Taking the hands to the floor. Again, you might be halfway up, you might be lengthened to the ground. Looking towards the hands for a moment, and then let the head go heavy. And if we've recrossed the legs in the opposite way, we should hopefully feel this in the opposite hip. Noticing if one hip is offering a little more sensation than the other. Using the inhale to lengthen and that exhale to fold. Micro movement. Feel the hands on the floor, the ground beneath. Take one more lengthening inhale, softening exhale. And then inhale, rolling up, nice and slowly. Roll the shoulders back and down. Take a moment now. And then bringing the feet out flat to the floor. We're going to come to the ground. So rolling down very nice and steadily. And we're going to put our hands down so you can lower the spine. Seeing if we can almost feel each vertebra as we come to the ground. Take the arms out wide as we get there. And you could gently swing the knees from side to side. Feet could be quite far away, or you might bring them a little closer. Just noticing the body as we've stretched, as we've moved. What's come up? Lovely. And then bringing it to centre. Bring the feet a little closer to the bottom. Knees hip distance, feet hip distance. Keeping the arms out nice and wide, bring the shoulder blades together. Lovely. Chest is breathing in. Lifting as you exhale, feel the body on the ground. We're going to take the right foot up off the floor. Take the right ankle and rest it on the thigh. Coming into a little figure four position here. Really relaxing the hips. This left foot can be quite far away if you need it to be a little lower, or it can be quite close. Relaxing that right knee out. If you want it to be a little more intense, you take the hands to the back of the left thigh and pull gently in. But you might want to just keep it low to the ground today. Arms out wide. See what feels right for you. If we are taking the hands to the thigh and pulling in, just making sure that the head is down on the ground, the shoulders are down on the ground. Gently pull till you find that point between effort and release. Let the left foot be relaxed. Let the face be relaxed. Maybe taking a nice big yawn here. As we yawn, we release the chin, the jaw, and the jaw helps relax the hips. Lovely long breaths. If we've lifted the foot off the floor, taking that left foot back down, and then unhooking that right foot, giving the ankle a little bit of a rotate just to get the blood moving, and then placing it back down onto the ground. When you're ready, readjusting, and we're going to take that onto the opposite side. So bringing the left foot up this time, left ankle rests on the right thigh. Pressing the lower back into the floor. Taking a few moments here just to feel, just to be. If we did on the other side, we might take the hands round the back of the right leg this time. Gently pulling in, finding that point that serves us. And the eyes are starting to soften, to close if they haven't already. Then you might take that yawn on this side, just yawning into, wiggle the jaw, relax the hips. Bringing that right foot down to the floor if you haven't already. Arms out wide. Bring that left foot up and off. Then give it a little rotate one way and the other. Placing it back down on the ground when you're ready. We're going to relax our bodies onto the floor now. So coming into our Shavasana position, taking the legs out long, arms out wide. You could take a cushion under the head. You could take the hands to the belly. You do what works for you. Knees could be bent and falling towards each other. Find where you need to be for comfort and relaxation. You might even take the legs up the wall. Finding what works for you. Always feeling free to just stop the video if you're watching this back, or drop off if you just wanted to drift away. And resting here just for a little while. Whatever the day has brought and whatever it's bringing, you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing. Begin to come back to the breath as we did at the beginning of the session, feeling that cooler air coming in and that warmer air going out. Noticing how the breath almost feels like waves coming up the body and down the body. And the sound of our breath almost sounding like the ocean. And those waves of breath, like waves on a beach, bringing you freshness and taking away what doesn't serve you today. Allow yourself to hear the waves, to feel the rhythm. As the breath washes up and down the body, you notice the muscles that have moved, the bones that have moved. Feel a tingle of your practice beneath the wave. And let yourself rest. Knowing that the rest is just as important as the movement. That the release is just as important as the effort. Noticing the sounds around you, from outside, from inside. Noticing life going on around you. And feeling free to stay here or allow that noise to wake you as you begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rotate the wrists and the ankles. And bending the elbows, the knees. Take whatever movement serves you right now. A little stretch. Another yawn. And then rolling yourself over onto your right hand side. Gently pushing yourself back up to a seated position whenever you're ready. Bringing the palms together at the heart and nodding the head down. And we just take the posture to allow the mind to give way to the wisdom of the body. And to give yourself some thanks for practicing today, for giving yourself this time. And thank that beautiful body for doing everything it is capable of doing. Namaste.